Tonight, we discuss the art museum, paintings, and weddings. Plus, welcome in special guest Maria Tomasetti, and also the much anticipated drolling reveal. Cocktail hour starts right now. Good evening. Welcome inside. Of course, it is always from the undisclosed location somewhere in Lancaster, PA. My name is Phil Rossi. Across the pond, across the hallway, my man, Mr. Howie D. Howie, what's up?
What's up, man? We got to give a shout out to our sponsor because we wouldn't be in our new digs if it wasn't for them.
Yeah.
BW, hit them up, Phil.
Design Studio.
You got it. Check them out. Thank you to my boy Kevin, taking care of us.
What do they do, Howie?
They design properties, houses. So if you want to build a new home, he'll take care of it all. So from soup to nuts, he's really good. He was actually had a TV show, like a reality show where they go in kind of like So
Howie, what I wanted to start with tonight is, well, first, you like my hat?
I love it. Can you explain why you're wearing that? First of all,
We'll explain it in a little bit.
Okay.
But the first thing I wanted to start with is the art museum in Philadelphia.
What about it?
Now, I grew up in Philly my entire life.
Same.
I know you have too. Have you ever been to the art museum?
I've been there. I've been up the steps. I've been around it. Never been in it.
Which is crazy. Me either.
Never been in it.
Never been in it. I've been there. I've seen the Rocky statue. I ran up the steps.
Yes.
But I've never actually been in the art museum.
And there's some really cool photo ops. If you've never been to the art museum, I don't know if many people, I'm sure have been to or have seen it. If you go there, I think even the outside and you see the skyline of Philly in the background, it's just breathtaking.
And we also talked about how, like, when we were in school, we could take school trips there.
Yes.
But we both never actually went in.
I think we don't appreciate the things when it's in our backyard.
That is true. That is true. So I do want to welcome in our special guest, Maria Tomasetti. Hello, Maria.
Hey, guys. What's
Have
up?
you ever been to the art museum?
Yes, many times.
Inside. How is it?
There is this really cool, like Egyptian exhibit there. That's permanent.
Really?
Yeah, permanent exhibition. So that's really cool. It's a little freaky.
Really?
But
Is it
it's
big?
also cool.
Like
It's like a whole room dedicated to it. Yeah.
so the art museum itself inside, like how long would it take for me to take a full tour?
Probably all day. Like
All
most
day.
of the
So
day,
so
yeah.
I would definitely have to invest in a day.
Sure. I would say so. Yeah,
Phil.
if you really want to explore and read and take it all in.
I think me and
Another
Phil
thing
should
we
go.
have to do is, as partners. I'm trying to
should
get away
be
from you, but the
part of
more the more we do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Maria, you went there. Why? Because obviously you're an artist. Now, as far as like just even drawing paintings, and we'll reveal art painting that you drew for me and Howie a little bit later. But did you always have that talent from when you were young? Like, how did you kind of even get into that? Like, how did you know you were good at painting and drawing or just being creative?
Well, my dad is a folk artist.
Folk
so-
artist.
Yeah. So
What is it? What is? I'm not sure. I've never heard of a folk artist.
Uh-huh.
I'm a folk musician, but not an artist.
have you ever heard of Grandma Moses?
Have not.
Famous artist in her 80s. Didn't
Okay.
start painting and making things till she was in her 80s. World famous.
Gives us hope, Phil. Gives us
Southern-
hope.
Yeah. She is amazing. So it's basically folk art is essentially like non-traditional. Like it's very simple usually. It's like
Could me and Phil be folk artists?
No, you have to have skills, talent.
there's still skill to it. Yeah. So he likes to make like fish and bird decoys and things like that. He used to paint a lot of signs back in the day.
Yeah, you like it?
Yeah. So, yeah, that's kind of how it all started. We just learned that our dad is an artist and, like, kind of went from there. So my brothers and I.
So your dad's a folk artist.
Uh-huh.
What would you consider yourself? Just an artist?
Just a painter.
Okay. And how many brothers and sisters do you have?
I have an older half-sister, and I have 3 older brothers.
Are they all artists?
So the oldest is a builder, a roofer, construction, that whole thing. And the other one is a graphic designer. He
Okay.
works for a company.
Is that why you asked about our logo?
No.
Okay.
And then my other brother is a videographer.
Okay, so they all have art in the family, just different types of art.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And you are, I guess, because I seen you when you're out at weddings. It's painting, right? But it's watercolor painting.
Uh-huh.
And what's like? Tell us the difference between watercolor painting versus somebody just regular painting.
So watercolor painting is more like a drawing. So you start with a drawing, and then you paint inside the drawing.
Mm-hmm.
And it dries really fast.
Okay.
So it's very easy to use. And it looks really nice.
Now, is there certain types of colors that you like to use, or do you kind of feel the vibe at the event?
Colors?
Colors.
You know, I use colors that I think are beautiful and relevant.
So, Maria, let me ask you this. So, are you able just to look at a person or an animal and just draw it, or do you need to have maybe a sketch there before and then you copy that?
So, if you were sitting still and you were planning on sitting there for a while, you know, I could draw you that way.
Okay.
And that's usually the best way because I'm seeing you three-dimensionally right now.
Which I've seen her, like, she'll be, I think we did an event at Cork, and there was a pot of flowers, and she just started going at it. Like, it was like, and I was like, it would have took me weeks to, like, draw something like that.
I was going to bring that, and I actually might actually be in the car, but because I looked at that later, I thought it was a flop, and then I looked at it later, and I was like, oh.
But you obviously are going to be a harder judge on yourself than we
probably
would, right? Because you're always your own worst critic.
Right.
I have a question. Have you ever been, like, sitting in a park and would see somebody sitting there and just draw them and give it to them? And
that's weird, Howie.
No, I feel like
that's odd behavior.
I don't think so. I think
you don't think
you have, haven't you?
Oh, sorry.
See, she has done it.
Wait, I have a good story too. You want to hear it?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so
See?
I digress.
Yeah.
What was that? I'm sorry. What?
No, never.
Never.
Go ahead, Maria. Tell your story, please.
Okay, so this is a funny story, kind of. I don't know. Maybe it's boring.
No, I want to hear
I don't have
this
that many
because
exciting stories.
no, I feel art is not boring, and I feel like because the way you see and interpret things to me is amazing.
Yeah.
And how you put it in paper and then colors to me, I would be so lost.
But you did say that the person had to be sitting still. So how is somebody that is not aware you're there, that you're painting?
Well,
how does that work?
So sometimes, so I've drawn all over the place, like back in the old days.
In the old days.
How you know about that?
I do.
Yeah, back in the old days, you know, I used to travel a lot, and so I would take my sketchbook with me everywhere and just be like, okay, you know what, you need to do this. Like, if you don't do this, you know, like, I don't know what life is then. Like, right. you got to do something. So I took my sketchbook with me everywhere and just, like, would force myself to draw even if I, you know, resisted or something like that. But anyway, so one time I was in school, actually. I was in Italy. And yeah, I took my two last classes that I needed for graduation there. And so, anyway, so I was drawing in the street. Some guy walked up to me and he was like, oh, like, can you draw me or something? And so, so I did. And then it was funny because he told me to keep the drawing, which, like, that's weird. Like, it's usually the other way around. Like,
Correct.
usually I give the drawings to people, and he's like, no, keep it. I was like, oh, that's cool. And he said he was from Dubai and interesting person. So it was very cool. He tried to ask for my email. And so, like, or something. I was
Wait,
like,
is that
no,
him, like, asking you out?
I don't have an email.
Through your email?
I think.
That's
but
cool.
anyway.
That's different.
He's from Dubai.
You ever tried
but
that,
it's
Howie?
cool because
But
I
he's
have.
from Dubai.
So what's that mean?
I don't know.
People they hit on you in Dubai by asking
well,
for your email?
no, they well,
Yeah,
that's
I know,
probably how
it's
they
like
communicate.
email,
That's
right?
probably how they communicate.
Howie, no.
No,
No, it's because they knew, like, I wasn't from there.
Ah.
Right.
So, email.
I would have
What do
went
I
with Instagram at the worst.
Back in those days,
Oh,
Instagram
yeah, I forgot.
was
This
like,
years ago.
I don't even think I had Instagram.
So it was either the
This is
number
like
or
a
the
long
email.
time ago now.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, do you still have the picture?
Yeah, I have this whole sketchbook of everything that I did there. So it's one of my best ones, like best.
Would you say Italy is your favorite spots that you have been to where you actually got to draw?
Well, I had a lot of time to draw there, you know, not too many distractions in life or anything. So it was good time.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What are you looking at me for?
I want to see her draw you.
Well,
Yeah, I did draw you.
Yeah,
I
she
drew
did.
both of you.
I think
Did
it's
you?
a good time for the reveal.
You think so?
Yeah.
I
It's
do
a
think
good
so.
segue.
So
Well,
that's
no.
what-
Beforehand,
Oh,
can
you're
can
right.
I ask you a question? So you, when I asked you what you wanted to drink on the show, you said water because you're training for a race.
Oh, yeah.
And I looked it up, and it's called a
Ragnar?
yes, and I looked it
Yeah.
up. So it's like a marathon,
Uh-huh.
and it's like
Wow.
it's like a team marathon. It's not just you. So you have teammates, and I was reading that somebody runs in the middle of the night straight through. So it's nonstop for what, 36 hours?
Pretty much.
And so how
Oh, hell no.
how far are you running in this race?
So it's 18 miles total. So
Total.
we'll each run 18 miles just at different times.
That's not as far. Like, so where does it go from, like, what's your starting to finish point?
What do you mean?
Like, where do you start the race at?
Where is it?
Yes.
Virginia.
Virginia. And where are you going to end up? In Virginia
Still there, yeah.
Just 18 miles further.
Yeah, like it's
okay.
a trail run.
I'm not sure. I don't know. Maybe you're close to the border and you're going this way. I don't know.
Mhm.
Because you could cross state line, right? In 18 miles, you could, in theory.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even think we can get it up the. I don't even think we can get up the art museum steps.
No, I could walk a mile. Run a mile won't happen. Just,
500 miles.
listen.
She's a singer too.
So let's go.
All right.
And-
Yeah. So I want to reveal this painting.
Okay. And then I want to talk about something that you also accomplished. You have a lot of accomplishments, I saw. And
Sure.
I think you seem very humble about it, but I think in your journey, you've accomplished a lot and seen a lot. So I want to talk about this after we do the reveal.
Yeah, I want to see what this looks like. We kind of took a peek earlier, but I want to fully
Okay.
Yeah.
invest in the.
All right. Here's the reveal.
How amazing is that?
Can anyone tell
It looks.
who this is?
Yeah. Well,
I love it.
how long did this take you to create this? It's a masterpiece, as in because you did it, but as
You're-
far as the talent.
So wait, how did you come
Not
up with
very
this,
long.
this premise to draw us? I'm assuming that's from the Step Brothers, right?
The Step Brothers movie poster? Yes.
Oh, yeah. You're the one that asked me to do this, Howie. And you copied and pasted your faces onto. I thought it was Bob Ross or something, but I didn't know who it was.
How you got a little Bob Ross going on right now with that hat?
Thank you. No,
No, Bob Ross has the hair.
Oh, he's got the hair.
yeah, he's got the fro, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
And he's very soft, like he talks like this.
All right, let's get
like-
back to our painting.
All right, what are your observations, fellas?
I think it's amazing.
I love it. I like my sweater.
Anything stick out to you?
The
Howie,
hands,
got a little grandpa vibe going. I like it.
Grandpa.
Yeah, Grandpa Howie.
because of the scruff.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of your chiseled faces?
I like it. It's like eerily. It looks like this.
Yes.
Right?
And now we're gonna put it. Where should we put it?
Just nowhere.
I think we should hang it in our office.
Yeah, it's
For sure.
beautiful. I love it. I really
Thank
do.
you so much.
Yeah.
It's just. I didn't think it was gonna come out like that. I thought it was just. You did put a lot of time into that.
How long did it actually take you?
Um,
Who took longer? Was it Howie? Was he had harder features to fix?
no, I didn't really have to fix anything.
Oh,
See, perfection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. You can just keep it there the whole episode. I mean, that's fine.
You can sit right here.
Yeah, Howie, I'm very impressed.
Thank you.
Not by you, by.
This is a mixed media, actually. So there's watercolor, little colored pencil,
Can you like name it? Like you know how like
Howie and
like the Mona Lisa, something like that. Can you give it a name like so like it'll forever be embedded?
Howie and Phil, number one or something. Like
Number
that.
one.
Yeah, because then
That's
you
pretty
can
good.
just keep doing more. That's
That is
usually
true.
how
I like it.
editions
Thank you.
go.
That's a good idea. We can keep putting our heads
Actually, that is a pretty good idea.
on like different famous posters and stuff. Like
How about
movies.
Top Gun?
I'm definitely Tom Cruise.
I'm way behind in the times, but I recently downloaded Procreate, and I really am enjoying it.
This is great.
Do you know what that is?
No.
It's just like a drawing program.
Mhm. So, Marie, what's the difference between Because painting, drawing, watercolors, is that different than like actually doing sketches? Like with a pencil?
Well, with watercolor, you usually sketch first anyway.
First,
with
okay.
pencil.
Okay.
And painting, I mean, if you're painting like something like realistic or like figured, yeah, if you're pertaining to any kind of likeness or realism, then you probably draw it first versus like just going in and like painting.
Okay. Well, here's an
with
interesting
no lines.
Here's an interesting thought I had. You know how like if we watch a movie and we see like DJ or music, we look at it a little bit closer because we're trying to see if it's similar to what we actually do.
Mm-hmm.
So like when you're watching like I don't know like Titanic, you know the part where they
Where she's drawing him in the
as like
in the
as
car.
one of like the
Like
French
one
girls.
of your French girls?
Yeah.
Yeah, is that accurate? Are you looking at it that like this is just for the movie? Like what's your
That he was drawing?
Well, it's art.
Yeah, like
What
is
is
it
that?
real? Is it fake?
What? Is what fake?
Yeah, like when he's like the hand. Like the hand's obviously not Leonardo DiCaprio.
Someone else's.
I don't know. That's what I'm
It's
asking.
a real drawing. Somebody drew it for the movie, right?
I don't know. I didn't
I'm
know
sure
if you
it's in
had,
the
I didn't know if you had
credits.
more insight because you know if it's right or wrong.
I mean, it. Like, how else would it get there? I guess is what.
Did they do a good job? I guess is what he's getting at.
Yeah,
I don't know,
that's
just
been
had-
a long time. I guess so.
Can you paint Howie like a French girl? He won't look good, but I'm just saying.
No.
Maybe we can
I
use
like this way.
I like the number
yeah.
one.
just a thought.
Okay.
All right, Howie.
No, so one I want to talk to you about your project with Rachel's Crepes because
Oh, cool.
I know Rachel's is a big part of the community in Lancaster.
Yeah,
I see how I said that, Phil. Lancaster.
Yeah, whatever.
Lancaster.
Keep it going.
So how did that all come about? Because I've driven by it, I've seen you post things on your social media, and seeing it versus looking at the pictures, totally different.
So Friendship Heart Gallery and Studio is a studio for artists with intellectual disabilities and/or autism in Lancaster, and there are many artists there, and they are extremely talented. So that's actually their artwork. We had painted a mural with them previously on Mary Street on a house. That's a long story, but I'll try to make it quick. So the connection there was my former employers owned that house, and they remembered that I used to work at Friendship, and then the pandemic happened. I'm sorry. And they had asked for that project, pandemic. So it took like 3 years for it to actually fruit or something like that, for it to ever come to be. But it was discussed when I was still working there. I used to work for Friendship too. Discussed it. And then, it just took a long time for it to come around. So my former employer, I hope I can mention his name. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Colin.
Sure. Colin?
Yeah.
What's up, Colin?
Yeah. So he basically was like, hey, like, can you help us with this? And my other coworker at the time, she collaborated as well. She's an artist. She lives in California now. And so we put on the project. We, took the artist's work and compiled it and made a beautiful composition and put it on a house, and that's pretty much it. So project manager for both of those projects. Rachel knew about that, and she thought, wow, that's so cool.
Yeah.
And wanted that. And so they just called me in, again, to help.
Well done.
Yep.
Maria, the last thing I wanted to ask you before we actually get to a little quiz Howie had for you was when you do paintings for couples at a wedding.
Yeah.
Now, when we do bridal shows and stuff like that, we get a great response from the couples when they learn that we have a painter that can paint, them at the wedding.
Yeah.
So just take us through, what you love about that, why it's so special to you, and if couples are looking to maybe add that and they're not sure, the reasons why maybe they should.
Well, it all started with me. You guys want to know how I got here?
Sure.
A little bit. That'll reel into that. So anyway, I was looking for a side hustle, and
yeah, you go, girl.
applied for the photo booth person.
Uh-huh. That's right. That's
Yeah,
right.
and then
yes,
Matt
yes,
was like,
yes, yes. I
"Whoa."
remember the story.
Yeah, like that wasn't the right thing or something. But then he was like, "Whoa, I saw your artwork. It's really good." And I was like, "Oh, thanks." And he's like, "What if we did like this and this and this?" And we actually talked for like 2 hours. It was crazy. And then I met Nisa later, and I just thought they were really wonderful. And then I just thought, it's always better in life to give, right?
Right.
So that's kind of like the inspiration behind why I love doing it. And
Why, just more like the reveal at the end, like once you're done and you show the couple the painting?
the whole concept of being able to give something to someone that is
And what
people that are enjoying,
and what's amazing
this
is you'll see guests
piece
come
of
up
life.
as you're doing your project, like because I like to call it a project because everything's different. So it's each one's its own entity, right? Every
Right.
wedding's different. Every couple's different.
Mhm.
So when you're doing it and you're painting, just the reaction of the guests looking at it from the beginning stage till you reveal it to the couple. And we try to keep the couple away because we do want to see that organic reaction at the end when you do present it to them.
Mhm.
And I feel like it definitely is a shock value to them in a good way.
Yeah, well, I will say artists are really good painters, like what I do, are really good at thinking about people. And pretty much all day long, that's pretty much what you can expect me to be doing. Thinking about my family, my friends, people I care about. And so that's what painting is. You're literally just thinking about someone the entire time you're painting.
Amazing.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So I don't know
To
what
think about
musicians do.
that way.
Did you happen to
Or
see
DJs.
did you happen to see the article on Lancaster Online?
Yeah, I did.
See, look at that. So growth. It's growing from when you first started here to that conversation you had with Matt and Nisa to where you are today.
Which was pre-pandemic, by the way.
Yeah,
So it took a little while for things to get rolling.
but I feel it is a trend now, and I think it's going to even snowball even more.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy it. I think, whenever you can make people happy and you just get to see them, smile and some people cry, like,
Yeah.
like that keeps me going because I realize, wow, this really makes people feel special.
It's really
You know?
nice too. I mean, because they're going to have the pictures from the wedding from the photographer.
Yeah.
They may have a video from the videographer, but there's something special about being able to have it at the end of that night as actually something you could physically take home to have and then keep in your house and stuff like that. So, I mean, it's super cool. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, I hope my hope would be that they would keep it, forever.
Oh yeah.
Legacy is something that I have been pondering lately.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how much people think about legacy anymore.
I think
these
about
days.
it personally a lot.
Yeah, good.
You got to leave.
Great,
you
you're
gotta
on the
leave
right
something.
track.
You got to leave
Yeah,
something
yeah.
behind.
Yeah, right? So,
That's why we're doing this.
hopefully
Mm-hmm.
they'll want to keep it around.
And I think
Don't put it in the sun, though.
right, and I
Well,
think
that's good advice too.
Yeah.
Keep it out of the sun.
Yep.
and I feel that's what this is about. And I feel like we're spreading love, whether it's with you and other guests, because we want to educate and people to learn and to spread positivity.
Mm-hmm.
So cheers to that.
Cheers.
Oh, we got one more thing, Maria.
One more. So
So Howie
Aw,
has
I'm
this
sad
this,
now.
this game that he wanted
Okay.
to test you,
it's
quiz
not a
you.
game. I want to test your knowledge on colors.
Oh, cool.
So
Yikes.
all right, I want to see if you took red and yellow and put them together, what would that give us?
Red and yellow is orange.
Nice. All right. All right. Can I get a little bit harder?
I guess.
All right.
I'm a little nervous.
All
I
right.
might not be able to
I think you
compute
got it.
very
I think
fast.
you got it. I think you got it. All right. Red and green.
Red and green makes brown.
Yes. Oh my. Yes. All right. One more. This will be easy. Blue and red. Blue and red.
Purple.
Purple. Say. Nice.
That's
Yeah, I
good.
didn't have to repeat the
All right. I'm gonna see if Phil knows
No,
this
I
one.
don't know anything.
I think you can get this one.
Oh, yeah, let's ask Phil.
Yellow and blue.
Maria, I'm looking at you so you can tell me. So
I'm gonna give you a
I'm
hint.
not going to tell you.
I'm gonna give you a hint. Yellow and blue.
Come on,
right?
you got
Is that what I
this.
said? Yellow and blue.
yellow and blue,
Think about the Philadelphia Eagles.
green.
That was too big of a hint.
Was it?
I was going to say, like, his shirt.
Okay, maybe like a teal, like a green.
Yeah. So
All right,
there you
Maria.
have it.
Well, thank you so much. We appreciate your time,
Aw.
your effort, your
Cool,
talent.
guys. Thanks.
As always, we have to toast our way out of this.
I feel like,
Thank you so much.
Book her
really
for
got
your
no-
wedding. Book her for your wedding. Thank you all.
thank you.
Thank you. You
Thanks
enjoy
for
it?
having me. Yeah. I'm like a little sad it's over already.